Wake up, the sun is rising in the sky, chasing the stars and waving at goodbye.
Welcome back to
A
Vibe
golden
Podcast
arrow lights the
Investigates.
morning
I'm your host,
air.
Alice.
The
Today
world
we're
is
discussing a
singing,
plot twist in the
joy is
Charlie Kirk killer
everywhere.
case, a topic researched for us by David Morgan. I'm joined by Charles and Angela.
Good to be here, Alice. As a former British policeman and criminology expert, I'm always keen to delve into the forensic details and investigative anomalies of a case. This one certainly has some fascinating twists.
And I'm Angela, an expert on Utah and local politics. It's truly compelling to see how deeply intertwined this case has become with the political landscape here in Utah, especially with the figures involved.
Absolutely. Let's dive right in. The whole conversation around this case seems to have taken a turn, starting with Tyler Robinson's rather chilling, jokey reply on Discord. My doppelganger is trying to get me in trouble after seeing the shooter's video image. Charles, from an investigative standpoint, how does something like that factor in?
Well, Alice, an initial statement like that, even if presented as a joke, immediately raises a flag for an investigator. It suggests awareness and perhaps even a degree of foresight or knowledge. The concept of a doppelganger is fascinating in criminal cases because it's a direct challenge to identification, which is often the bedrock of an arrest. If someone credible, like former state prosecutor Harry Littman, is repeating it, it means it's gained traction. It shifts the focus from simple identification to a more complex look at the evidence.
And it gets even more complicated when we bring in Phil Lyman, who has aspirations for the Utah governor's office. The text mentions he provided video evidence of the killer, supposedly Tyler Robinson, outside his relative's home. Then, his cousin or nephew walks the route to Utah Valley University with a friend who is described as a doppelganger of Tyler. This all feels very orchestrated, especially given Lyman's political ambitions.
It certainly raises questions about the provenance and intent behind that video evidence. The fact that an AI analysis suggests Tyler and Lyman's cousin's young friend are 73% alike is significant. On low-quality video, that's more than enough to sow reasonable doubt. An investigator would have to be very careful not to get tunnel vision on Tyler, especially with this doppelganger in play and the potential for a deliberate misdirection. The subsequent action of the Lyman cousin deleting their social media accounts only adds to that suspicion. Why remove your digital footprint unless you have something to hide, or are trying to avoid scrutiny?
That's a powerful point, Charles. And it's not just the cousin and doppelganger. There are inconsistencies that cast doubt on Tyler Robinson being the actual shooter. Charles, can you walk us through some of those?
Of course. Firstly, the knowledge of the route. Tyler Robinson never attended Utah Valley University, yet the shooter had intimate knowledge of the path from Phil Lyman's relative's home to the specific roof position. This is crucial. Criminals usually operate within their known territories. For someone to have that kind of precise knowledge suggests either extensive prior research or direct experience, perhaps like Lyman's cousin and friend who apparently researched or knew the route and even created a map. Secondly, the physical evidence around the weapon. Tyler's grandfather's gun was old, with a badly mounted scope. Any experienced shooter would tell you, using such a rifle would almost certainly result in a black eye due to recoil. If Tyler was the shooter, where's the black eye the next day? This is a significant physical detail that seems to be missing.
And it ties back to the political angle, doesn't it? If Tyler Robinson isn't the shooter, or if there's enough doubt, it drastically changes the narrative. Phil Lyman, who ran against Cox for governor and lost, is now getting a lot of media attention around this case. The text points out that Cox, the current governor, is also getting TV time, almost like free advertising for the next election. Lyman owes Trump a favor for a pardon, and perhaps this whole scenario, this plot twist, is being used to leverage political capital. It suggests that Lyman, or those close to him, might have seen the Kirk assassination as an opportunity for media attention to boost his own profile or damage Cox.
And the ballistics, Angela, are equally perplexing. The bullet entry wound and the lack of an exit wound in Kirk do not match the caliber of the hunting rifle, nor the trajectory identified by the FBI from the shooting position. This isn't a minor detail. It's fundamental. For these to be reconciled, the text suggests a magic bullet theory, which is a term used to describe highly improbable trajectories, often associated with conspiracy theories. Either the FBI's assessment of the position is wrong, or the weapon and shooter identified are incorrect. This strongly suggests a different scenario than the one initially presented.
Exactly. And if there's a strong enough doubt around Tyler Robinson's involvement, especially with this doppelganger, it creates a potential legal quagmire. A jury presented with these inconsistencies, the root knowledge, the black eye, the ballistics, and a near-identical stand-in, would have to contend with reasonable doubt. This could severely damage Phil Lyman's credibility in a future election campaign if he's perceived to have mishandled or manipulated evidence, or if his relatives' actions are seen as an attempt to divert attention or create a false narrative. The seeking of TV publicity by Lyman's relative, ironically, might be what gives Tyler Robinson his ideal defense.
It truly is a complex web of evidence, motive, and political maneuvering. Charles, Angela, thank you both for shedding light on these crucial details. That's all for today. A big thank you to our guest researcher, David Morgan, for providing our topic.
The stars and waving at goodbye. A golden arrow lights the morning air. The world is singing, joy is everywhere. So open the door, let the laughter pour. We don't have forever, but who could want more? Raise up your glass, let the moment shine. This life is a spark, and tonight it's mine.